As soon as the heliport comes into view, that song will begin playing, and you'll get this really cool nostalgia going on.
Good song.
Yeah, it's a great song. Okay, the next thing you want to do is, right now we're under the truck, so let's just go ahead and crawl out from underneath the truck and head up to the center of the heliport pad.
Okay, let's go. Okay, what happened? Oh, there's another item right in the center.
There's an item right in the center, which people remember was here in Metal Gear Solid 1 as well. Chaff grenade. In addition, when you come to the center of this heliport, you should be hearing some voices right now.
Yeah.
So of course, the scene from Metal Gear Solid 1 where you first get introduced to Malin. You know, people who are playing Shadow Moses, there are these flashbacks hidden all over the stage, so be sure to look around and listen for those. There's one more thing as well. If you stand in the center of this heliport, and I think this is a secret that I think most people probably have not figured out, because it's really hard to, and most people wouldn't do this. But if you put the camera, shift it so that you're looking at Snake from above, similar to the camera angle in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Top view.
Yeah, top view.
Yeah.
And you leave it here for a while.
Oh,
hear
Snake say something.
Right.
Overhead view. Just like old times. Now you're talking. Overhead view. That's more like it.
Say something.
Right. So he starts talking about the overhead view, saying how it's just like old times.
The game was the top view. Yeah, overhead view, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and you actually, I heard a tune that you got some driven points.
Right. So yeah, so this is actually a hidden feature, so you can get some driven points for this. People may remember that back in South America, there was one hidden flashback on that stage as well. So for all of these flashbacks, if you listen to the end without skipping ahead, you will get driven points for that. So be sure not to run away and cut the flashback off early, because you won't get the driven points. So be sure to listen to the end.
Okay.
One thing also is when you came up into this heliport, you picked up some chaff grenades. And these items, of course, people will remember them from previous Metal Gear games. But in Metal Gear Solid 4, they are very useful, especially in Shadow Moses. Because this time around, Shadow Moses is completely inhabited by robots. So you've got the gecko, you've got the dwarf gecko, and when you use the chaff, it just totally disrupts them and makes it much easier to get to the stage. So for people who are having a really hard time with dwarf gecko, what you should do is save these chaff grenades and use them wisely, ration them out, and use them to get past the hardest areas of the stage.
Actually, I remember I used this. I don't know it worked, but I kind of used this predicting it worked.
Right.
And actually got them confused, and
especially for the dwarf gecko. The dwarf gecko just get completely wiped out by this chaff grenade. The geckos, they'll still be able to fire at you, but it does, keep them from moving. So either way, it's a very useful weapon.
Good. Okay.
Yes. Some people might gonna say, like 10 years ago the chaff grenade was very, very useful, and 10 years after, still the chaff grenade is.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move.
Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska.
useful.
Yeah,
Is it,
we're living in a world of information and technology and things, and
Yeah, but still.
yeah, yeah, but Ken, but if someone put out the batteries off your phone, you're gonna be in trouble, right?
I know, but yeah, that's true. But
You're saying there should be anti-chaff grenade,
So it should be countermeasures.
counter chaff grenade thing. Hey, you could be right, yeah.
yeah, well, some people are gonna say.
And then there's gonna be a counter anti.
Right? We can just say it evolved beyond the next step, right?
Okay,
Like they
okay.
countered and countered again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sean was, working really hard, and maybe, his life has been changing from this point that something was happening.
What happened? Did something?
Do you want to bring that up?
Well, I thought, you were going to talk about, like, the game breaking, and then your life in
My
Japan.
life in Japan.
Yeah.
Well, where to begin? Well, when I first started on Metal Gear Solid 4, it was shortly after I got married. And let me just give some advice to anyone out there who wants to start in the game industry. Do not get involved in a really huge project right after you get married. Your life will be hell.
Well,
Yeah, it is very tough. I mean, there's always crunch time in these games, and especially for a game like Metal Gear, we're pulling some really crazy hours. And when you're single, that's fine, right? You can sleep in the office, you can do whatever, and it's your own time. But when you're married, things are a little different, and yeah, it's not as easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Ken, we shouldn't talk about this anymore because, Sean's starting to cry. And
Yeah, I'm getting a little misty.
Yeah, well,
and,
yeah, he really missed his wife, who left.
Okay, well, Sean,
Anyway,
let's move on. Let's go to the west part.
all right.
West part of the, what was it? The
Yes.
What do you
so
call it? This?
From the helipad,
Yeah.
let's head to the west,
Okay.
and you'll see there's a storage
Storage room. Yeah.
to the west, and so let's just head in that direction. People may remember that the storage room was here in Metal Gear Solid 1, but you couldn't go in. This time, the doors are open, and you can go in from this room to the other adjacent rooms through a duct at the back of the room. If you look at the corner, the northeast corner of the room, you'll also see a camera.
Yes. The
that
surveillance
people-
camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Surveillance camera that's also here from Metal Gear Solid 1. Right now it's not doing anything because we started the stage kind of in the middle from the back of the truck. But if you came in to this stage from the snowfield and you have The Best Is Yet to Come playing in the background, and you come to this camera without being spotted by any enemies, and there are no flashbacks playing or anything else like that going on, you can actually see a very special sequence. Another very hard to find hidden sequence where we actually relive the first time Snake sees these surveillance cameras in Metal Gear Solid 1. So basically we match the same camera angle and have Snake look up at the camera. You hear the flashback. Surveillance camera.
Surveillance camera.
Right.
Yeah, that one. Well, I couldn't
Did
find
you
this.
see it?
No,
No.
but I saw the demo, so I thought, I was doing something wrong. Because when I played the game, I didn't see this demo, and I was like, I know that there is a surveillance camera flashback, but I didn't see it when I'm playing the game. What did I miss?
Right.
I mean, what
yeah,
did I
so
do wrong?
I think there's some people who may not realize what the conditions are. So yeah, definitely come here while the song is playing.
I didn't know this. This is a real tough
Yeah,
condition, isn't
it's
it?
pretty tough. You have to come here while the song is playing, without being found, and without any of the the flashbacks playing in the background as well.
Yeah.
And you can only see this once. So if either camera will work, there's this camera here, and then there's also the one in the northeast.
Yeah.
So either one you go to, you'll see that camera sequence. For each camera, there's one sequence.
The camera sequence is really fun.
Yeah.
So people who played at Metal Gear Solid 1, they will love it for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
People get a kick out of it. So yeah, for people who haven't seen it, go ahead and give that a try.
Okay, let's get out of this room, and where we head, Sean?
From this room, if you go through this, at the back of the room, there's actually a duct that leads to the other storage rooms that you couldn't get to in Metal Gear Solid 1. And this time, if you crawl through this, you can actually get some items back there, like Kitty-chan ramen. So, in this really cold stage, it might be good to eat some nice warm ramen.
Well, this ramen noodle thing, I had a really hard time because we were going to have the but then I talked to some people from the company. I had a big presentation to them, like what kind of concept is this game, blah blah blah, but they rejected. This is the second time because we tried it when we were making a Snake Eater, and this time second time rejection. So I definitely want us to try one more time for the next project. If the ramen noodle will be in this series, and I definitely want to
What
try.
was their reason for rejecting it? Because it was a war game, or?
Yeah, because of the war game, I think. They got peace concept of it, So
I heard this from Ken like 10 times.
yeah, so many times because I